Level 1. Content Coordinator. You make $80,000 a year in Los Angeles, and you cannot afford Los Angeles. You sit in an open-plan office in a building that smells like expensive coffee and anxiety. Your job is to track things. You track scripts, schedules, submission deadlines, coverage requests, and the calendars of people 6 levels above you. You build the decks other people present. You take the notes in meetings you weren't supposed to attend and send them back out within the hour. You are invisible in the room and indispensable to the machine. A pilot script lands in your inbox. It came through a producer with a relationship with someone upstairs. Your job is to log it, route it, and flag it for coverage. You read the first 10 pages anyway. You always read the first 10 pages. You don't know why yet. You will. The executives above you are busy and important, and they do not learn your name for 4 months. When one of them finally does, he gets it wrong. You correct him once. You never correct him again. Level 2. Content Manager. You make $200,000, and you are finally in the conversation. Not leading it, but in it. You have a slate of projects you're actively developing. 3 limited series, 1 feature film, 2 projects in early talks with talent that may or may not materialize. Your job is to shepherd them from idea to greenlight, which means you are a therapist, a traffic controller, and a diplomat all at once. You spend your days on the phone. Agents, producers, writers' reps, showrunners who need reassurance at 9 p.m. on a Sunday. You give the reassurance. You make the call. You are always available. And you stopped resenting that about a year ago. Now it just feels like breathing. The pilot script from your coordinator days crossed your desk again. Different producer attached, better draft. You flag it internally. Nothing happens yet, but you remember it. The cost of this level is that you are the one who delivers the bad news. When Netflix passes on a project, you make the call. You've done it enough times now that you've developed a voice for it. Warm but clear, sorry but final. You hang up and move to the next thing. That's the job. Level 3. Senior Manager. You make $280,000 and you have a team now. 2 coordinators and 1 junior manager who reminds you of yourself 5 years ago, which is both comforting and slightly painful. You run weekly check-ins, you review their coverage, you push back when their notes are too soft, and tell them to say what they actually mean. Your taste is your currency at this level. Netflix doesn't greenlight projects based on gut feelings alone. There's data, there are metrics, there are long decks about audience segments and retention curves. But someone has to look at a script and say, this is the one. That someone is you more and more often. You are building a reputation inside the building. For what exactly is still being decided. The pilot script got a second rewrite. You read it on a Friday night. It's good. It's genuinely good. You bring it up in Monday's meeting. Your director listens. He's non-committal. He's always non-committal. You push anyway. That's new for you. You're learning to push. Level 4. Director of Content. You make $500,000, and you are now the person who delivers the green light. Not officially, that happens upstairs. But practically, if you walk into a room and say this project is ready, it moves. That's a different kind of power than anything you've held before. It's quiet and total, and it comes with no ceremony. You manage 6 managers. You see everything on the slate. You know which projects are strong, which are being kept alive because of a relationship, and which have been dead for 6 months, but nobody has made the call yet. You make those calls, cleanly and quickly. Purgatory wastes everyone's money. The pilot script finally made it to a formal pitch. The writer came in. You sat across the table from her. She was nervous. She pitched it clean, no notes. 30 minutes, no stumbles. You looked at the other executives in the room. One was on her phone. One was doing the polite nod that means nothing. You were the only one leaning forward. After she left, you said, "Take it." You meant it. They approved development. The cost of this level is the politics. You are not yet above them, and you are no longer below them. You are inside them. Every relationship is also a negotiation. Every yes you give is a debt. Every no is a withdrawal. You keep a mental ledger. Everyone up here does, whether they admit it or not. Level 5, Senior Director. You make $650,000, and you have survived a regime change. That matters more than the salary. Netflix has gone through content leadership shifts before. People who were untouchable became invisible overnight. You watched it happen to people smarter than you. You're still here because you delivered. 3 shows on your slate hit the top 10. One of them hit #1 globally for 2 weeks. You didn't create it, but you found it. You pushed it through. In this business, that counts. Your world is now a mix of strategy and relationships. You spend 3 days in New York every month meeting with talent. Showrunners, directors, A-list actors who want to produce. You take them to dinner. You listen more than you talk. That's something nobody tells you about getting senior. The best meetings are the ones where you barely speak. You ask one good question, and then you let them talk for an hour. And by the end, they've told you exactly what they want to make and why. Then you go back to the office and figure out if it fits. The pilot script is in production now. You're an executive producer on it. Your name is in the credits. The first time you saw your name on a screen in a screening room, you felt something you didn't expect. Not pride exactly. Something quieter, like a door closing behind you. You're in the building now, all the way in. Level 6, Vice President of Content. You make over $1 million a year, and people in Hollywood take your calls on the first ring. That sounds better than it is. The calls are all the same call. Everyone wants something, and everyone is selling something, and your job is to figure out what's real and what's noise. After this many years, you can tell within 5 minutes. You still take all the calls anyway. You never know where the next great show is coming from. That's the thing about this job. The minute you think you've seen everything, something surprises you. You sit in the senior leadership meetings now, the ones where the actual strategy gets decided. Which genres to invest in, which markets to double down on, which relationships to protect at any cost. You have opinions on all of it. You give them. Sometimes they land, sometimes they don't. You stopped keeping score. The show from the pilot script premiered last month. It's a hit. Real numbers, not managed expectations. You watched the first episode alone in your living room on a Tuesday night. You paused it halfway through. You thought about that Friday night, 6 years ago, when you read the script on your couch as a senior manager and thought, this is the one. 6 years from that couch to this. You pressed play. You finished it. You went to bed. The cost of this level is that the hits don't belong to you. They belong to the show, to the creator, to the algorithm that surfaced it to the right people at the right time. You are infrastructure, essential, invisible infrastructure. The building needs you. The building doesn't know your name. Level 7, Co-CEO and Chief Content Officer. Your total compensation last year was $61.9 million. You've been at Netflix for over 2 decades. You started when the company still mailed DVDs in red envelopes. You watched it become a studio, then a global institution, then something that doesn't have a clean word for what it is. You helped build all of it. Not in a metaphorical sense, in the actual sense. The original content strategy, the talent deals that rewrote the industry's economics, the move into film, the international expansion. You were in those rooms. You made those calls. Some of them were wrong. Most of them, over time, were right. Now, 300 million households watch something your company made every single month. You sit in meetings with heads of state who want to understand how you think about storytelling. You testify in front of regulators who want to understand what you've done to the media industry. You do interviews where journalists ask you about culture and taste and the future of television, and you give thoughtful answers, and you mean them, and they still only capture a fraction of what you actually know. The thing nobody tells you about the top is that you stop watching television the way you used to. You used to watch for pleasure. Now you watch for information. Every scene is a data point. Every choice is a decision you're reverse engineering. The part of your brain that used to just feel a story has been replaced by the part that evaluates one. You can't turn it off. You've tried. You go on vacation, you open a show on your laptop. Within 10 minutes, you're thinking about the budget, the showrunner's deal, the market it's targeting, whether the pacing will hold subscriber attention past episode 3. Your wife used to point it out. Now she doesn't bother. You got into this because you loved stories. You believed they could move people. You still believe that. You've seen it happen at scale in a way no one in the history of entertainment has ever been able to see. A show premieres on a Friday, and by Monday it's being discussed on every continent. That's real. That's not nothing. You hold on to that on the days when the board meeting runs long, and the talent lawsuit lands on your desk, and the quarterly numbers come in, and someone in a glass conference room needs you to explain to them why art doesn't always behave like a spreadsheet. You still read scripts. Not as many as you used to, but you still read them. A coordinator sent one up last week through 3 layers of people. Nobody flagged it except her. She wrote one line in the coverage. I think this is the one. You read the first 10 pages. You called her directly. She was surprised you knew her name. You told her to set up the meeting. Some things don't change. That's the only reason to stay.